It's a pop culture film, and you will.
So tell me about the automatons.
We thought we had him, Cameron.
We thought we had him.
We thought
I've
we
been
had
out
him
the
on the
game.
run, man.
I was
you've
on
been out of
block
the
leave.
game.
I was on holiday block leave, taking a trip to Super Earth. Tell me, fill me in. What happened?
I mean, we thought we wiped him out, man. We had him on the run. Operation Swift Disassembly was a go. We got it all taken care of, and there was a moment of peace, a breath of fresh air within the universe for freedom and democracy. But then they came back with a vengeance, man. They counterattacked and they blocked. There's like three blocks of the universe that are all sectioned off now, and we got to get them back. We only got like as of this recording, it's not looking too good because they seemed, I don't know if maybe I've just like lost some skill in the past like day or two since I played, but they are better shots. They seem to explode more aggressively when you kill them, which means killing you in the process. And those fire tornadoes, man, there's like certain planets have different planetary conditions, and those fire tornadoes are not fun. I was not having a very good day today.
Oh man, that's terrible to hear. I'm sorry. I totally missed the invasion. I feel like I'm not a Dodger. I'm not a democracy Dodger. I swear.
You better get back on that ship, man.
I can start diving ASAP and become an asset.
That's right.
But dude, yeah, that's crazy. You know what I appreciate? You know what I appreciate about, like, appreciate? Yeah, I do appreciate once a day. But I really appreciate the fact that like the game is ongoing and it's like a joint effort. It's not just that is the storyline. I've never seen a game like that. Have you? Is there any games?
I mean, I feel like Destiny is the only one that comes to mind in which there are events that never happen again. And if you are a part of that event, then you can talk about it. You can kind of share that experience with other people that were part of it. And then it goes away. And then you're on to the next thing. So I think that's part of the magic of Helldivers 2 is that there's an evolving storyline and things ebb and flow. And if you're a part of it at certain points, then you can be like, yeah, I was at Malevolent Creek when it fell, or I was at Malevolent Creek when we liberated it. And I'm sure it'll fall again, you know? So hopefully the people have really seemed to have taken to this game in such a way that they're making memes about it. They're making videos about it, you know, like our little, you know, Stolen Valor video that we made. Like that just kind of, it captures the imagination and it lends itself to fun, creative kind of things. It's kind of, it's fun. It's cool to be a part of. So
yeah, it is, man. It makes you feel, it doesn't make you feel empty like some of these TV shows and movies we're about to talk about. Good segue.
That's right.
That is. We don't need to ask for closure. And that's exactly what this episode is about today. We're going to talk about some movies and TV shows that just we couldn't get over, you know?
Right.
The type of TV show movie you just want to invite to coffee 2 months later and be like, I just need to talk about this.
Some
really quick.
closure. I have something in my soul. Just can't rest until we have a talk about what happened between us, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So I know you've assembled an amazing list here. I've tried to add, but you've hit a lot of these points on the head. There's a lot of pop culture out there that has done, you know, that has had a terrible, terrible ending or just didn't really do it for you.
Right. Or no ending at all. Sometimes projects, movies, especially television shows and video games, they will have an intention. And then for whatever reason, business reasons, money reasons, creativity reasons, they won't finish the thread. They won't finish the storyline. And you're just left hanging. All the fans of whatever. And shows, I feel like shows are notoriously difficult to end, especially popular shows. The most recent example would be something like Game of Thrones, right? Where it was this international box office or international success. Everybody was talking about it. Everybody was wondering what the next episode was going to hold, who was going to die, who was going to live. And then that last season, man, boy, that is a case study in how to fumble at the 5-yard line.
Yeah. Yeah, that is prime example, man. So do you know, I know we've talked about Game of Thrones in the past, but like, okay, so the guy, I was under the impression, like, obviously the guy that wrote it ended up getting cancer and died, but that was far from the actual case, right?
Wait, were we talking about Game of Thrones or Wheel of Time?
Oh, we were talking about Game of Thrones, right? How
Yeah,
to
Game of
not
Thrones.
write it.
No, Game of
Yeah.
Thrones. George R. R. Martin is still alive. He's
Yeah,
just
exactly.
probably never going to finish the series because I don't know. He's getting old. He's got all the money in the world now. He's doing other projects. He doesn't care about Game of Thrones. They already finished the TV show.
Yeah. No,
So
that's what I'm saying is like, I thought, because I heard about it and they're like, oh, there's no book. Like the final season, there's actually no book that they're going off of. There's no actually written anything. And I'm like, oh, it's because the author must have died or something tragic happened to him. And then I've come to find out he's just super lazy,
yeah.
ultimate disrespect.
Yeah, yeah. I've told the story about I had a friend that would do some personal assistant work for him, like go to his house at an undisclosed location in New Mexico
Yeah.
and do whatever. And I think like somebody asked her one time, like, do you ever see him writing? She's like, he's never writing. I never see him writing. And she's
Yeah.
there like all the time. He's either off doing stuff and I don't know. I guess partly I can understand when you're getting old and you've had so many accomplishments in life and you're getting up there in age. You're not going to live forever. You kind of start thinking about like, what do I want to do, with
Yeah.
my
Maybe
life?
you
And I've
just
got all
want
this money. I got all that sweet, sweet Game of Thrones cash.
to, yeah,
Maybe I'm just
just
going to go travel the world and write other series and write other projects or whatever. I don't
yeah,
know.
or just pick up woodworking. That's a very expensive hobby there.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
You do have an obligation to. I think he does have an obligation to finish it. When if we're talking about Game of Thrones, George R. R. Martin has an obligation to the fans and to I don't know if the publishers are on him about it or if he has some sort of open-ended deal,
Yeah.
but I think he has an opportunity, a moral opportunity, because season 8 was a massive, massive failure in my opinion. It was so bad how they ended it, and he could like redeem it. He could end it differently the way that it's supposed to be. He has a template on what not to do. And
Yeah.
obviously he had to give them the major plot points so that they could run off and do their own thing. So George, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come
Kill
on.
the kid in the wheelchair.
As a personal favor to me. Come on,
Yeah.
get it on. Get on with it, man.
Yep. Just kill the kid in the wheelchair. That's what you have to do.
That's what you have to do.
You have to do it. You have to do it.
I
But that
saw a
wasn't even.
video.
Oh, go for it. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I saw a video on somebody trying to fix it. Like, this is how I would have done it. And they did a really good job. They changed the story slightly. They had things go in a slightly different direction. They had Jon Snow be kind of the hero that we kind of wanted him to be. And Daenerys, so they took a longer time for Daenerys Targaryen to fall into that darkness because it's always meant to be a cautionary tale of the savior figure. Like, we're putting our trust in people, looking to them to save us. And then she has this turn, but she doesn't have it on a dime like they did it in the show, where all of a sudden she's just evil and blasted people with fire. And yeah, they don't have the cripple boy become king at the end. So,
well, that's good. Yeah, he just stays there, stays in that bundle of sticks, whatever it is, the hole in the ground. He just stays there. But yeah, that wasn't even on our list, but great way to start it off. You guys all got the idea. So let's talk about one that ended in such a way that I can't believe that there hasn't been any type of talk about a sequel or just, have you heard anything about a District 10 or a District 9 sequel?
no, man. No,
No.
no. District 9 was one of those movies where it had such good ideas in it. It was
Yeah,
this kind
so
of
cool.
lower budget, shaky cam kind of thing. And I don't know if maybe it was like a love letter or not. What is a love letter? But an audition for this guy. He wanted to make the Halo movie, and he did make like a Halo live action short film. If you've never seen it, go online and watch it. It's really good. It's like a live before the show came out. It was the best thing we had to Halo type action out there on the internet. But yeah, man, District 9, obviously a stand-in for some sort of South African apartheid state. Love the cool sci-fi themes, and the guy gets he gets infected with the virus. He starts turning into Sharto Kobe starts turning into an alien. and they're fighting, and the dude is like, I can help you. His alien buddy's like, I can help you if I can get to the ship. And then they
I
have a
can fix you.
disagreement. He's like, actually, I can't. I have to go back to my planet, but I'll come back for you. And then they have a disagreement. And Vickers, kind of his character, he turns on him, but then he kind of has a change of heart. And he comes back to save him, and then he ends up getting kind of captured, or he's in that mech suit.
Yeah.
And there's just awesome, really fun action. And then his buddy gets on the ship and he flies away, and then the movie ends, and Vickers Van der Mermer is an alien apparently, and that's it.
Yep. And he's like, I'll be back for you. I swear, I'll be back. And then you just kind of see this. Well, it doesn't directly say, but you just kind of see this alien, because he was getting all these alien appendages, and like his arm would turn into a claw.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just see this one kind of at the end shifting through the dirt and like walking around, and you're like, is that him? It doesn't explicitly say it.
Yeah.
But he's still an alien, and we haven't seen or heard or anything about a District 10, because I think it was really well done for like the style and the costumes and like the imagination that went into District 9. It's like truly, I like the fact that it's not like the aliens didn't invade.
Mm-hmm.
They were more just like pests.
Yeah, they kind of got their like middle class aliens that like maybe their ship went off course. Refugees, basically.
Yeah, they're alien refugees. Like they're not an advanced being. They're like just a beings capable of travel that like escaped their home planet, and just ended up on Earth. And it's like, what would this be like if people didn't want them there? And there was the guys that obviously were obsessed with like the voodoo magic, that like thought they could like eat the aliens and gain their powers, but they didn't really have any powers. I thought it was really clever, awesome sci-fi. I'm a big fan of the South African accent, bro. Love it.
South African. Yeah.
Yes,
My
South African, bro.
South African.
Is he?
His wife, yeah. So
that's pretty cool.
He always gives good sermons because at least it's in a South African accent.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, he's just, and then afterwards he's like, "Let's go get them blood diamonds, bro." Show me the diamond.
Come on, dude. You just told me a sermon about Jesus' love for us. Now you want to go get blood diamonds? Come on.
Yeah. Trying to screw me over, huh? But yeah, no, it was a great movie, and I'm just so upset because I would love another one.
Yeah. I mean, they're obviously Neil Blomkamp is no stranger to putting messaging into his movies. I never saw Chappie, but he did Elysium, right? That was
Elysium was
too,
great,
right? Yeah. And that was like everybody, all the upper class white and Asian and Middle Eastern people live in space, and all the Mexicans and Matt Damon live on Earth. So there's got to be more stories that he could tell with District 9. And I would love to. I like Sharlto Copley. I like that character that he played, and I don't know if it expressly has to be about him, getting cured and coming back, but I don't know. There's got to be something they can do with it. But I think Neil Blomkamp. I think something tells me he's done with that story. That was something that he's up and coming. He's passionate, right? They had a $30 million budget. It made $210 million at the box office. That's a massive success. It put him on the map. It put him up there in the upper echelons of directors working. And so now I don't know, something tells me he's just kind of like, he just doesn't care anymore.
That's lame though. If you like, usually when you get something like that, like the momentum that you get, especially a movie that makes, let's see, what would you call that markup? That's like more than 5%, if you ask me.
Yeah, right.
At least more than 12. Like that movie was a massive success. Almost quadrupling. I don't know what would be like times 8, ochoing the budget. But octupling maybe.
Octupling?
I don't know. Octupling.
We'll go with octupling. Yeah.
Octupling, the quadrupling, octupling the budget. Yeah, that's a massive success. Why wouldn't you want more of that? And it opened, and it was left for that. There was literally a puzzle piece that was missing, and they're like, okay, so, like we could totally fill something in, but it just never happened.
Yeah.
I wonder. Yeah, that's such a shame. Such a shame. District 9 was a great movie.
You know what's really a shame is he went on to do what is it, Chappie? And full disclosure, I've not seen Chappie. I just heard it wasn't all that good.
Oh
And it's got
yeah, it
it
was.
does have Hugh Jackman in a mullet though, which is kind of cool.
Doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh
But,
wait. Oh wait.
what?
Quick Google, dated March 16th, 2024. So about like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
District 10 confirmation and everything we know about Neil Blomkamp's District 9 sequel.
What? That's
Here we go.
awesome. I take back
Here,
everything I said.
I take it back. You know, this entire past 10 minutes of us just dragging this guy could have been completely solved if we just took a slight Google pause. Wait,
District. Well, now I'm looking at a Reddit. There's like
yeah.
director Neil Blomkamp temporarily halts plans for District 9 sequel, District 10. This was 7 months ago, though. You said that they're starting back up again, right?
This is on Screen Rant.
Okay, all right.
Okay, summary.
Okay.
District 9 was successful sci-fi release 29 sequel. District 10 has been discussed for years, but concrete news on its development remains scarce.
Mixed
Is likely.
enthusiasm.
Oh, so this is even it says confirmed. Wow, this is clickbait.
Clickbait. You know what? I
Clickbait.
take back everything I took back and I give it back again.
Yeah, shame.
Gosh,
Okay, now we can move on after I spit on you.
Yeah, spits on you.
I spit on you.
All right, so that's just clickbait. That's just conjecture.
Now
It's
it's
not
just
actually gonna
clickbait.
happen,
Yeah,
so.
so we take back everything. I take back everything that I took back.
That's right.
So now we're back. Now we're
I
back.
fully give it once again. Okay, so speaking of unsatisfying endings, I got to jump into the video game realm because this is a legendary. This is a legendary series that has yet to be ultimately resolved. It's kind of a meme now. Us all waiting for Half-Life 3. The Half-Life series, legendary. I'm so glad that I've gotten a chance to play it more recently on my stream. It was suggested to me. It's kind of one of those games that a lot of people have grown up playing. Especially, I didn't have a PC growing up. It was all console stuff, so I didn't catch the Half-Life series when it first came out. But let's see, Half-Life. When did Half-Life 1? Half-Life game. Half-Life. Half-Life Source 2004. Half-Life 2 2004. Okay, anyway, no 2000. Half-Life 1998.
Half-Life 1998.
That was the first one, okay? And then
There's a
Half-Life
lot of
2
these games.
2004.
Wow.
Right. And it always ends on a cliffhanger. The first one ended on a cliffhanger. The second one brought the hero back, Gordon Freeman, and he's with Alex. Gordon Freeman. Pay attention, Cameron.
Sorry.
But Valve is one of those companies, I guess maybe they always want to innovate. They always want to push things forward. And so a lot of the stuff they did in Half-Life and then Half-Life 2 was really innovative. And it's kind of stuff that we take for granted in terms of maybe combat or physics in the game or I don't know, that kind of stuff. But back then it was kind of innovative. And Half-Life 2 came out in 2004, and then nothing but some, I guess they get some DLCs or some little like add-on kind of stuff. Half-Life 2 episode 1, Half-Life 2 episode 2, 2006, 2007, and then waiting for Half-Life 3. All these other things have been kind of like little add-ons, little kind of, even Half-Life Alyx, I think, is more of like a in-between cool kind of thing. It takes place before the event, in between the events of Half-Life 1 and Half-Life 2, and then butt ends into Half-Life 2, and then kind of continues the end of Half-Life 2. Because Half-Life 2, you're fighting, you're going along, and I think her, like, Alex's father dies. She's another character. Her father dies, and then she gets captured. That's the end of Half-Life 2. So you can imagine being a player of that game in 2004 and being like, oh my God, what an epic cliffhanger of an ending. And then nothing new comes out, but pretty much ever again. Half-Life Alyx was a great game. It was VR. I haven't played it, but I heard it gets very high marks. You play as Alex, not Gordon Freeman, and more elements and kind of other kind of aspects of the story are introduced. There's G-Man, who's kind of this alien character, interdimensional being who manipulates you and manipulates the events of the game against the Combine, who are the main antagonists. But I mean, can you imagine? Like I feel your pain, folks. I'm so glad I didn't play them until recently, because I would have been waiting literally 20 years plus for Half-Life 3 to come out. And it's just kind of a joke at this point, because I don't think it'll ever really happen. Maybe Valve is waiting to find some way to innovate once again, some aspect of gameplay, and then they'll make that the Half-Life 3 storyline. But I don't know, man. I think we're still going to be waiting. I think that's one of the most epic, not satisfied with the ending kind of things, because it's not just that they ended the story and the story wasn't satisfying. It was this. They obviously made it a cliffhanger, and it's been decades since we've seen anything brand new. Half-Life Alyx-ish kind of introduced some other elements, but it didn't, as far as I know, it didn't take place after the events of Half-Life 2. It took place in between the events of Half-Life 1 and then a little bit during 2, and then it's kind of like, then it set it up for more storyline. But that's almost worse. You just rehash some stuff in the setting that people are already familiar with. Then you end it right around the events of the ending of Half-Life 2, and you explain some stuff, right? You kind of tease some things, more mystery, and then you end it. So it's just like reopening an old wound for all these players out there. And I don't know what Valve is thinking doing that, but so sad. So disappointing. Half-Life. What a sad saga that is.
It sounds like you're very passionate about this. I feel like you've been personally robbed.
I feel hurt. I feel like I am the avatar for the sadness and frustration and angst of an entire generation of gamers. Okay? So that's not an easy burden to carry, Cameron. Okay?
Yeah, dude, your spine must be so messed up from all that weight on your shoulders.
So you get together. Hey, listen, Valve, as a personal favor to me, okay, get it together. Okay.
Wow.
Oh man.
Dude. Putting out a lot of favors today, Izzy.
Let me ask you something, Cameron, just in the vein of what we're talking about. Why is it that you think, why care about stuff like this? Like, you're watching a story and there's something about it that is great, but then you see the ending or you experience the ending, and like, the endings are important. Like, what do you think? Why do you think this conversation has any kind of merit for you? Why do you care?
I feel so. Let's deep dive.
Yeah.
I feel.
Tell me your feelings.
I feel. What do I feel?
Do you feel like we do?
Yeah. No, I feel like, so in general, when not only pop culture, I'm talking about like movies, TV shows, their entire existence is to make us feel, right? Yep. Otherwise, why the hell would we watch it? Like, I'd watch paint dry if that was the case, if, all this stuff lacked emotion or trying to make me feel a specific way, whether that's scared by watching a horror movie, whether that's feel love watching a romance, whether I feel like a badass watching an action movie, et cetera, et cetera. Like, they create different movies, different genres create different feelings. And when you're watching these and it doesn't make you feel the way you wanted it to, I feel like you got cheated, feel like you wasted your time.
Mm-hmm.
You actually get upset because you feel robbed. I think that's, a big thing. I think you get so invested into it, right? When you're watching it, you're committing time, which time is precious.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that's 30 minutes for a TV show or 3 hours for a movie, and you're giving something up. And then when you're not getting something in return, I feel like that's when it becomes personal.
Nice. Yeah. There's definitely something there, man. No, I totally agree. I think it's tougher when the piece of pop culture, video game, book, whatever, is good, and the ending doesn't satisfy. It can almost ruin the entire experience.
Yeah, it can make you want to murder, like in Misery.
Yeah, yeah. See, yeah. Don't mess with
Yeah.
the book fans, man.
There you go, the book
We're all
fans.
like that.
Yeah.
No, no, it's true, man. There is an investment there, and there's a hope, like you're talking about, when you're investing yourself in a story. Maybe if it's even if a lot of times we're fans of these things, fans of video games, fans of sci-fi, fantasy, or drama, and there's an expectation of the kind of journey that we're going to go on.
Yeah.
And when you reach the end and you don't have that satisfaction, like there's something incongruous. There's something that doesn't fit. There's something that doesn't line up, or there's something that's just not there, that's absent.
Yeah.
And yeah, to the level of investment that you had in watching the story, you're going to be more and more disappointed. Yeah, I think
Oh,
you
yeah.
got a point there.
Pisses you off. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense, man. I mean, but sometimes they like overdo it. I feel like sometimes they want to give you more when they should give you less in a
Mm.
way.
Hmm.
Um, which that's how I felt with like The Hobbit. Everybody knows
Yeah.
Everybody knows I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan,
Yeah.
and, I was thoroughly disappointed with The Hobbit and continued for all 3 movies. I thought they'd get better. I thought they'd, do it justice because The Hobbit is the precursor to The Lord of the Rings, right? This is
Hmm.
supposed to be the beginning. The book, there's only one book, but they decided to take this one book and split it into 3 movies. I don't know if they were getting greedy. They probably were
Mm.
because they didn't want to pay all those actors to play orcs. They'd rather just CGI it. That was just a big disappointment, right? I was
Yeah.
disappointed 3 times over, and that was hard to deal with, because they, like, did good makeup and effects with the dwarves, meaning, like,
Yeah.
they had all these characters
The
in
main
full
characters.
makeup and makeup and, like, all crazy kooky and, they had fat suits galore, but then when it came to, like, I think what's made the Lord of the Rings trilogy, which was earlier and probably harder to make, um, they completely dropped the ball with the practical effects and like actually dedicating time to makeup and like putting actors into orc costume. And like I think that's what made that series so successful, is just the attention to detail in the practical effects versus this Hobbit that they tried to go, it does not even hold weight against Lord of the Rings.
Right.
um and they tried to cut corners but give us more of it, and I think it was a huge mistake. I felt cheated that way. Like I would rather, instead of getting 3 movies, I would just prefer one really good one.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I think that's your first problem right there, is the original Hobbit is only about like 300 pages long.
it's not long at all. They added a bunch of stuff. They tried to like
Yeah.
basically, yeah,
I think
they
a bunch
just
of appendices stuff,
yeah,
bunch
they
of
tried to milk
lore.
it. Yeah, they
Yeah.
tried to milk it. They should have just stuck to the story and just did it. Put all their eggs in one basket instead of trying to spread 12 eggs in 3.
Yeah. I think I sense New Line, I sense a big company wanting another trilogy.
Yeah,
And we know that this was kind of an embattled series too, because after Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings, which was a massive worldwide earth-shattering success, um uh what it wasn't Guillermo del Toro, I think, was originally going to be a part of it, and they were going to do it together, but something happened. I heard that he walked away for a little bit and then came back. So I don't know the whole story. Maybe there's a YouTube video documentary series out there that can tell us what actually happened.
yeah,
But you can tell, yeah, you could tell the whole time there's all these like little side adventures. There's all these characters that maybe they aren't even mentioned in the books, or maybe they got just like one sentence or two and they're totally filled out and they totally give them so much more screen time. And then there's of course characters. I don't think is Legolas even in The Hobbit? Is he in The Hobbit?
he's in the second one.
He's in the second. Okay. All right.
But, like, he definitely looks like has a lot of CGI going on.
Well, yeah, he's what? It's like what, 10, 15 years later for that actor who played
Yeah,
Legolas. Um
Orlando Bloom.
Orlando Bloom. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, well, here's a great example, literally headline, and this is according to theguardian.com, said Peter Jackson, quote, "I didn't know what the hell I was doing when I made The Hobbit." And he says, Oscar-winning director admits he was, quote unquote, "winging it" and was making up as I went along for much of the fantasy trilogy's chaotic shoot.
That
Like, there's an
is.
entire Guardian interview with Peter Jackson where he's just like, "Yep, I just I didn't know what I was doing."
Oh man, that is not a good sign. Not Peter Jackson, because if
Yeah.
you trust anybody to handle the material well, he's proven it with with the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So you would have high expectations. To find out that he was just winging it, as that doesn't inspire me with confidence.
Yeah, I mean, here's a good example right here. He said, in the remarkably candid behind-the-scenes featurette from the Battle of the Five Armies, the Oscar-winning New Zealander details a radical shift in preparation time between the previous Tolkien trilogy, The Lord of the Rings, which had 3.5 years to prepare,
There you go.
and its sequel saga. Jackson took over directing duties in 2010, following the departure of Mexican director Guillermo del Toro.
Okay,
So,
all right.
yeah. And according to his comments in the new video, had almost no time to prepare his vision before shooting began. He found himself plunged in 21-hour days. So this
Wow.
was just like, we need to make this movie. I'm taking over for Guillermo, and I guess we're doing this.
I even heard a rumor that it was supposed to be 2 movies originally, and they made it into 3. I don't know if that's true, but
Yeah,
yeah, that's too bad, man.
it
That
is too bad because anything that's when you have something that great, you think you'd want to like hold that standard.
yeah,
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 like, there is so much there's a reason why there's, like, a Lord of the Rings cult, right? It's because that trilogy is so good, and if you put anything on that name, cough, cough, Rings of Power, like, you have to deliver or you get a all-out uprising.
yeah,
Like, no
yeah,
one's
man.
ever gonna want to touch this again because 'cause you're just, like, soiling it. But,
Let me
I feel
and I want to call out to anybody listening or watching. If you liked the Hobbit trilogy, you got to tell us why. We're not going to
yeah.
judge you. We're not going to shun you. We love you.
No,
We love you.
everybody has their own taste,
But
man.
I just got to know. I love hearing people's reasons, especially in the realm of pop culture, because I think there's, to some extent, it's subjective. I think there's objective quality, and there are
Yeah,
objectively good and bad quality movies and pop culture.
sure.
But sometimes it's just a matter of opinion. So if you have an opinion and you're like, The Hobbit is great, you got to tell me why. I'm so curious.
Yeah, and I'm ready to tell you why you're wrong. But moving on,
Yes.
we'll do a couple more here. What do you got? I know you have a couple on this list you haven't got to. Yeah, what do you got, Izzy?
It's hard, man. It's tough. Listen, I'm going to give a shout out, just an honorable mention to all my Star Wars Republic Commando fans. I played that more
France.
recently. My fan friends, my friends. I played them more recently on stream. I'm glad I did. It was a suggestion from the community. It was a great tactical first person shooter. It's team based tactics. You have to utilize your special forces, Republic Commando, clone troopers. It was great. So awesome. Intentionally, obviously, the game stops at the halfway point in the story, right? As one of your buddies is cut off and surrounded by bad guys. You want to go to him, but then Yoda calls you away. It's in the middle of the Clone Wars, and then bam, nothing. That was 2005. That was almost 20 years ago. We've had that game. And so anyway, that's my honorable mention to Star Wars Republic Commando. They shouldn't have done them like that. They did them dirty, and they need to fix that. But what I will say, this is something interesting, because this is not a movie that I was disappointed with. This is actually a movie that I love. Big Trouble in Little China is one of those movies that I could watch over and over and over again and never get tired of. I don't know if you have
Mm,
a movie like that in your life, where if you just have it on the background, you can watch it anytime. You could even have it on your phone, maybe in the seat right next to you as you're driving. I'm not saying to do that, but I'm saying hypothetically, if you were going to have a movie in your car, Big Trouble in Little
sure.
China. I love that movie. And at the end of the movie, if you haven't seen it, and you should, spoilers, he's in his car. He saved the day. He's in his truck, rolling down the road, and it just kind of pans to the back in the rain and the storm. Then a monster kind of creeps up. It's like on the back part of the tractor trailer, like creeping towards him. And that's the end of the movie. We never find out. It's like kind of this, like, it's not over yet kind of thing. I would love to see a Big Trouble in Little China, but maybe if they had a chance to make it a couple of years after the first one came out, because I do not want to see any properties that I love be remade or any sequels today, because the environment in Hollywood is just not the same storytelling environment as it used to be. Their priorities are much different. Jack Burton would be, I mean, it's, make her a chick and make her gay kind of thing. Like they would do that to her. They would do that to Jack Burton. He would be emasculated. They'd have a strong female character that is better at him than everything, that would always put him down. And here's the thing, in Big Trouble in Little China, he is kind of incompetent. He's not the sharpest tool in the shed in the midst of the characters that are surrounding him, but he's got it where it counts, and that's the magic of his character. And freaking Jack Burton, played by Kurt Russell. He's so great. He's got that charm, and he still looks good, man. I would love to see them do something in the fantasy Hollywood. In my mind, I would like them to make a sequel to Big Trouble in Little China, but we all know that that just can't get made today. There'd be too many people up in arms. There'd be too cultural appropriation or not handling Chinese culture well. It would never get funded because most of our studios are funded by Chinese companies anyway.
Yeah,
like Braun and Tencent.
Yeah, this was a national disgrace when it came out. China was like, take it down. They were like North Korea when the interview came down.
Yeah. Well, actually, I heard if you listen to the commentary on the movie, apparently not many people were totally offended in the Chinese, it wasn't like the Chinese community was offended. It was like other people being offended on behalf of the Chinese community.
Oh yeah.
And the Chinese people were like, no, we didn't care, So.
Yeah, I'm completely joking. That seems to be the case with anything. You ever see that video of the kid on the street and he's like, he dresses up, he puts a fake mustache on, he's a white kid, he puts a fake mustache on, a sombrero and a poncho, and he goes to a college campo and he's like, does this offend you? And everybody's like, yeah. And they're like, are you Mexican? He's like, no. And then he goes to straight up little Mexico and talks to all the Mexicans and they're like, nice poncho. Yeah, dude. Everybody sucks.
Yeah, getting offended on behalf of other groups is kind of a national pastime these days. So.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, do you want to know a dirty little secret?
Uh-oh.
I've never seen I've never seen this movie.
Don't tell me that, Cameron. Oh my gosh. Well, here's the thing, man. I could tell you to watch it because I am such a big fan, but I saw it when it came out in theaters. I was a little kid. It just blew my mind with fantasy and stuff. It's a John Carpenter classic. I think it's right up there with The Thing in terms of his best movies of all time. And like I said, it's got everything. It's one of those things. It was Rush Hour before Rush Hour was around. It was a blending of Eastern and Western action. It had Kung Fu action in it, and it had American, bang, bang kind of Western action in it. And they did a lot of good stuff with it, man. Jack Burton's a great character. And so if you put it on your list, you can put it low on your list, man, because I don't know if you're going to be affected by it the same way that I was, because I saw it when I was a kid. So.
I mean, hey,
it's too late for me.
I like to watch things. So I will be watching this one just because I got to.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah, we'll do one more each, I think. But honorable mention, since you did an honorable mention.
All right.
I would like to say, especially for closure, a TV show that ends almost, and we're talking a TV show that's been on for almost 2 decades now. Or 2 decades. Law and Order SVU, Special Victims Unit. I just have to shout it out because I've been rewatching it all with Sydney, and basically every episode is a cliffhanger. You get zero closure every episode. They have this crazy build up, character development. Obviously the SVU, the Special Victims Units, is a unit within the NYPD that deals with sexual crimes. So pretty much rapes and kidnappings and all that stuff. So there's a lot of emotional attachment to these characters because they are doing the job that nobody else wants to do, right? If you're working in homicide, you're just working with, your victims are all dead. But in SVU, you're working with live victims, people that are there living and breathing. So it's pretty hard. But all the time they go, they always finish in the courthouse. And most of the time it just doesn't go the way you want, or it just ends. For example, and I'm going to get real specific here, season 6, episode 8. I just watched it last night and it's been on my brain because there was this big scandal. You have not your favorite actress from The Knight's Tale. What's her name that plays?
Shannon Salzman?
Yeah.
Oh no.
So she's in it, and not to mention the people that are in. If you watch the old SVUs, so many actors, so many in their beginning, like beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're like, oh my god, there's so and so. In the next episode, you're like, oh my god, there's so and so. Everybody has been in SVU. Plus, I don't understand how this is not turning into an honorable mention, so I might as well just finish it off. Because not to mention is like you get to see all these actors before they got big, or I always in my mind think about like your agent, right? Imagine you're in Hollywood and you're trying to make it big,
Yeah.
or you're in New York and you want to be an actor and you got an agent. He gives you a call and he's like, "Boy, son, I got the role of a lifetime for you to get you started." He's like, "Oh, thanks, Tony," or whatever his name is. And he's like, "What am I playing?" He's like, "Okay, you're gonna report to Fox Studios, and you are playing a pedophile rapist who has schizophrenia and is a transgender." And you're like, "Oh man, that's the role of a lifetime." Like, could you imagine? You're like, how a lot of these things, because they're terrible. They're terrible roles, and you're just like, "Yeah, I'll play that. I'll play that
But
anytime you want."
I mean, as a performer, man, you're a performer too. Like for an actor, somebody who really loves sinking their teeth into a role and a role that has depth and stuff. I can see that being very appealing for an actor.
Yeah,
Not just
I
like
guess
how
I'm
are
not
people
an
going to see
actor.
me?
Yeah,
Yeah. But it's like, oh wow, this has so many layers to it. I got to understand this and that and the other thing.
yeah.
So, that's another way to look at it. I like how specific it is.
Yeah, I mean, you can get it. But anyways, this episode, season 6, episode 8, right? And you have that actress, and you have this guy, and she's a student, and he's a college professor, and I guess they have an inappropriate, intimate relationship, and she's known as a little bit of a Jezebel, right? And
Ah.
then she's also a little bit of a drunken, but then also he's an older man that tends to date younger chicks and students. So he's irresponsible, she's irresponsible. You don't know what happens. They're both covered in bruises and scratches. She's wasted, cries rape. He's like, it was consensual. She just likes it rough because she's
He's a freak.
she's a freakazoid. And then it goes, people take both sides, and he loses all his job, but then her reputation's tarnished. And it gets to the courthouse, and the detectives are flip-flopping because they're like, she's a liar, but he's doing this, sending death threats and sending whatever. And then it gets to the courthouse, and the judge is like, how do you plead? Or she's like, has the jury come to a verdict? And they're like, we have, your honor. We find the defendant. Cuts to credits. And I'm
What?
like, dude, are you kidding? After like 45 minutes of like you going back and forth, you take a side right in the beginning, you take sides, right? Based on your experience. But like, yeah, it's emotional because you're like, oh, dude, I just kept looking at Sydney every time she would mess up because I took the guy's side in the beginning because I'm just like, she threw a champagne bottle through a windshield because she was wasted, and then the cops came and she was about to be arrested because the taxi driver was like, arrest this woman. Yeah, she's crazy. And then she's like, don't arrest me. I've been raped. And I was just like, oh, she's copping out. She don't want to go to jail. And then, but then, yeah, it was just, it was, yeah, super. I wish they wouldn't do that. I wish they'd just be a normal TV show and like, just finish a plot.
It's funny, man. I was doing a little research while you were talking. Apparently, they had a voting thing where they let the audience vote on whether or not they thought he was guilty, and most people thought he was innocent.
I thought he was innocent. I totally thought he was innocent. I don't like her. Yeah.
Because Shannon Southman is not a good performer, so I wouldn't believe her anyway.
Yeah, I know you didn't like her at Knight's Tale. You don't like her today.
I don't like her in anything. Yeah, I'm sure she's a nice lady. But
Yeah.
my final entry into this epic episode will be the ending of Lost, man. Lost was another one of those popular shows, man. It was worldwide. I remember getting together with friends every weekend or every week to watch the latest episode. People were always talking about it. This was before the internet really caught on. It was wild, man. That last season, apparently it was rushed. Apparently they maybe thought they were going to get another season or two, and they had to wrap things up. And so like there were the original inhabitants on the island that never got to be fleshed out. There was stuff that happened super quick, and things, change over, and characters dying left and right. And Jack dies, and some people get off. And so anyway, I feel like Lost was such a great show because it was all about the mystery. What's going to happen next? What's around the corner? What's over here? Who are these people? I thought they were pretty good at rolling out the mystery slowly. And I would love to see a sequel series to that. It's same universe, same, maybe not the same, maybe the same island, but like, what other aspects of the island do we not understand? Are there people that go back to the island and try to rediscover it, or maybe there's a corporation or a national entity that tries to get in there, and some people are lost again. And I feel like there's a lot more secrets that the island could hold. Hugo ended up being the caretaker. If you don't know, he was one of the characters on the show. He ended up being kind of the caretaker of the island at the end. What happened to him? Did he pass it on to somebody else? I feel like if they did it right, which, who knows, if they did it right, I feel like that could have a cool, follow on. And I don't mind. I don't think it's like sacred, like some things are, where I wouldn't mind seeing a sequel to the Lost show.
Well, that's a good point, man. I started Lost. I've seen like the first season. But I know that it was a big thing when it was out. I remember it was like every Friday or Thursday it'd come on TV.
I think of a
Do you
Thursday, yeah.
First of all, do you just remember when like that was a thing?
Yeah, man. You used to wait a week for a new
You're like, oh, it's
episode to come
Thursday.
out.
Thursday,
Yeah.
8 p.m. on CBS.
Yeah. You couldn't just stream it whenever you want. You had to
No.
show up at a certain time on your TV.
Crazy. So crazy. Times have changed. You couldn't record it, before that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I remember when I was super young, but I remember people like coming up in arms about like some of the twists and Lost and some of the deaths in the final season or something like that.
Yeah.
But that's a really good one. I actually haven't finished it, so I have to do that.
It's worth the journey you take,
Yeah.
Even though the last season was not, it's not as abysmal. It doesn't reach Game of Thrones season 8 level, but it was kind of disappointing. It was like, it felt rushed. That's
okay. That's unfortunate, but good way to end our little debate here. But let's move on to our fan question that comes to us from Dylan via email. And remember, if you guys got questions for us, send us a email at the PCFMpodcast@gmail.com. We love seeing what you got. And there's a chance it might be featured on an episode, just like Dylan's question here, which he wonders, what weapons, in your opinions, are the most overhyped weapons in military video games and movies? Good question.
Yep. My answer is the crossbow. I don't understand why anybody likes this, especially in video games specifically. Like Helldivers 2 coming out with a explosive tip crossbow. I just don't get unless there's some sort of actual noise advantage, like you can't get discovered or they can't pick up on your location as easily. It's get a grenade launcher or get some other explosive tipped or explosive projectile weapon, like a grenade launcher or whatever. And just do that. There's some mystique about it. Maybe we're all big Daryl Dixon fans from The Walking Dead.
From Walking Dead.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks cool, but I think it's totally impractical. I don't know.
I mean, I agree with you, man. Like, first of all, you need a very powerful crossbow to get any type of distance, I feel like.
Yeah.
And then crossbow bolts versus arrows.
Yeah.
Typically, and correct me if I'm wrong, crossbow people out there, but like crossbow bolts are much shorter. I'm assuming this affects their trajectory. They are quiet though, so that might be the thing. But you also have to be kind of close. It's not like you can take a 200-meter crossbow shot and have it, and have it be like super deadly.
Yeah.
But no, that's a good one, man. Crossbows. I think chainsaws are super stupid.
Yeah, and you're a Gears of War fan.
I love Gears of War. Awesome video game concept, but like, I don't think they're practical at all. They're super loud. What happens if your chain breaks? Like, whenever I see, like, first of all, really cool scenes, like great features in movies. I mean, you have some iconic scenes like Evil Dead using chainsaws. Obviously Chainsaw Massacre is a big thing. But also like you have that crazy chainsaw fight in Mandy. Like that's just cool to watch, but I think it's super impractical. Like wielding a chainsaw, I don't think is effective. The chains can break, and after they break, like they're useless. So like imagine I'm pretty sure if you like use chainsaw on a metal object, like the chain will just snap.
Yeah.
Like it's not practical. They're super loud. They run out of gas. Like I don't think they're practical. But also honorable mention too. Flamethrowers I think are super overhyped. Just because, I mean, they look super cool. Like seeing a flamethrower go off, amazing. I would hate to get covered in flamethrower. It's instant death.
Yeah.
But the range isn't that long. You have a giant gas tank on your back. You are like way wider, and you are a target immediately.
Yes.
And you will die. That is the thing. There's a crazy little fact that in World War II, the average life expectancy of a flamethrower was 5 minutes once they hit the beach.
Flamethrower operator. Just if
Yeah,
you're the guy, man. You're like,
you were the
I've
guy.
led a good
Oh
life.
man, yeah, you're just like, okay, I guess I lost the lottery here. Because your life expectancy was 5 minutes. Once, like in Okinawa or in Japan, like during the Pacific, yeah, their life expectancy was 5 minutes. They all died. I know there was one interview with this old guy that somehow survived, and he was just like, "I was the only one." You know?
That's
Yeah,
awesome, man. Oh,
super
jeez.
crazy. But
Yeah.
that's my answer.
Good answer, man. All right,
Yeah,
Cam with the
Cam.
gams.
Yeah.
It's time for the game, my friend. And this
All
one
right, what
is
do you got?
all mine. I got a game for you called All the Closure You Can Handle. I will give you the name of a character, and you tell me if they died or lived in a specific movie, game, or TV show. That's it. You got a 50-50 chance of getting it right. You don't even need to tell me how they died or how they lived their lives after they lived. Let's just see where your instincts take you.
Okay, so all I have to do is tell you what universe they were in.
No, you just have to tell me if they live or die.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood that.
Yeah, no,
All right.
you just tell me, like, this is the warm up. Tony Stark, Infinity War.
Oh, he dies.
He lives in Infinity War.
Oh, in the movie specifically, not in like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
entire. Oh, I see what you're saying.
yeah.
Okay, but
So in
Tony Stark.
Endgame, yes, he does die, but in
Yes,
Infinity War, he lives.
I see. Okay, I understand now.
Yeah. All right, next one. First official question. Ready? And Ellen Ripley, Sigourney Weaver, from Alien 3.
Alien 3, I believe she dies.
That is correct. She does die.
Yeah.
Do you know how she dies for bonus points?
She kills herself, right? To kill the alien. She's pregnant.
Yep, she got a queen in her.
Yeah, she got a queen
belly.
inside of her, and I don't specifically remember. Does she dive into hot lava?
She dives into hot lava. Yep, molten
Okay.
steel, I think
Molten
specifically,
steel.
but
Yeah.
I'll give it to you. Yeah, hot
Perfect.
red hot magma.
Red hot magma death. Magma death.
Good stuff, man.
Okay.
All right, number 2, Private Reben. This is Ed Burns' character in Saving Private Ryan. Private Reben.
Burns.
Edward Burns' character.
Can I look up what he looks like just so I know who it is?
Look up Edward Burns.
Yeah, I'm looking up Ed Burns.
All right, don't type in Ed Burns.
Oh yeah, okay. I remember. He's the one with the bar. He has the Browning automatic rifle all the time.
Oh, okay.
Does he survive? I want to say he survives.
Good instincts, Cam. He does live. He's one of the guys
Yeah.
at the end that does live. Private Ryan lives, obviously. He lives. I think there's maybe Upham lives. There's only like there's only like 3 or 4 of them that live out of the whole crew.
Yeah, no, it's a brutal final battle scene. Yeah,
it is, man. Max Martini's in that. He's one of the guys on Matt Damon's unit. I just like that actor. He's done a lot of good military roles. Max Martini.
Yeah. I've seen this guy.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, he plays in 13 Hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Yeah. Good actor. Good dude.
Good actor.
There's a lot of veteran. He goes to a lot of veteran stuff. You'll see him at VME events. But
nice. Is he a veteran?
No, he's not. He's just a supporter.
Yeah.
He has a great movie called Sergeant something where it's like he's a homeless vet who goes on kind of a road trip across America on a motorcycle. And
does he steal the motorcycle?
He does steal the motorcycle. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Very sad movie.
Sad. Yeah, very sad. But
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Sidebar. But let's get on with it. Next one. You got these both of these right. So next one, Glenn Rhee, played by Stephen Yeun in The Walking Dead.
Glenn, terrible death, brutal death.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was actually gave me PTSD how bad he was killed. He was such a good character. I remember Sydney and I watched Walking Dead religiously, and I knew it was coming. Because I remember I knew it was coming, but I never actually saw the scene, and it is brutal.
Oh man.
Yeah, like it is scarring. Like you feel like you just lost a friend.
Dang, dude. That's rough.
Speaking, I should have brought this up. Like closure, talking about closure endings, cliffhangers, Walking Dead. I should have mentioned that.
The whole series or just parts of it? Like
no, Rick.
Rick.
Which Rick from Walking Dead was played.
Rick Grimes.
Yeah, he's Rick Grimes, played by Andrew Lincoln. They
Yep.
just kill him off randomly.
Well, they take him away. They take him
Yeah.
away. Doesn't he get into a
Well,
hell? Because he's got a show
he does.
coming out.
Yeah, they take him away in a helicopter.
Yeah.
And
then I
they're
think he
like, we're
comes
gonna bring you
at the
back.
end, right?
No, he never does. Ever.
Wow.
He never, ever, ever comes back. It is and it's out of nowhere too. There's no like build up to it. It's just like, oh, dude, that was actually the most pissed off I've ever been. You want to talk about like feeling robbed?
Well,
Yeah,
are you going to watch the spinoff series with him and Michonne? Because
yeah,
he
I
does
probably
live.
will.
The ones who
Yeah, if they run into each other, I'll be so happy. I thought he was gonna come back because they had the Daryl Dixon spinoff.
Yeah, where he's in
And
London or whatever, or Paris.
yeah, he's in London.
Oh, dang.
He's in England, and he literally, or he's in France.
I think he's in France, Paris, France.
Yeah, I think he's in France. Yeah, but anyways, he's in France, and like he says, he's looking for someone at the end of Daryl Dixon, and like I thought it was gonna be Rick. I thought it was gonna be. If it was Rick, I was gonna lose my mind. Yeah, but it wasn't, and I was thoroughly disappointed. But anyways, yeah, Walking Dead. That's my insert in the game. Let's keep playing.
Good insert, man. Good unresolved issues. All right, next one. John Marston from Red Dead Redemption.
I've never played the game, so this is gonna be a 50-50. I'm gonna say he dies.
Good instincts, man. He does die at the end of Red Dead Redemption. I've actually only ever played Red Dead Redemption 2, and it's a prequel, so he's alive through that whole thing, and then it kind of dovetails into the events of Red Dead Redemption 1, which takes place after the events of Red Dead Redemption 2, which is very confusing. But good character. I know he's a big fan, he's a fan favorite. But you got it right, man. He does live.
Okay,
or, I mean, he does die.
He does die. Yeah. Didn't play the odds on that one.
All right, next, the world famous blockbuster, absolutely totally successful film, Battleship. Admiral Shane, which is played by Liam Neeson in Battleship.
This is the one with Rihanna in it, right?
Mm-hmm. I actually didn't mind this movie. I thought it was kind of fun.
didn't mind it either. I thought it was kind of fun with like the little boats that came out.
Yeah, they got the old guys to bring the old battleship out of mothballs.
Yeah.
You know, and they're not going to sing this battleship.
Yeah. I don't remember how it ends. I do not, but I'm just going to 50-50. I'm going to say he dies.
Oh, your first mistake, Cameron. He does live. Admiral Shane, Liam Neeson.
Yeah, you don't kill off Liam Neeson.
Yeah, you don't kill off Liam.
Not even in the gray.
Not even in the gray, apparently. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. There's another one. Yeah, that was on the list. I just didn't get to it.
So yes, he does live. I think one of the Scars guards who plays his brother dies in it, but it's probably for the best. Okay. Yeah. Next one, we got two more.
Let's knock them out.
Chris Mannix, played by Walton Goggins in The Hateful Eight.
Chris Mannix, Walter Goggins. Can I look up the actor so I know his face?
Walton Goggins. He's going to be in the new Netflix or the new Amazon.
The new sheriff.
Yeah. I haven't seen The Hateful Eight, actually.
Oh, you haven't? I have. It's very good. There's actually a good story in it.
Oh, okay.
About
cool.
like an Walton Goggins. He lives.
All right, you're right. He does live, man. Good for you.
Yeah, there's a big shootout at the end. It's a big twist. You should watch it. There's actually a story about this. So, you ever heard of the guitar company Martin?
Yeah, this is where they had the Martin guitar.
Priceless guitar. Yeah, my dad works for Martin.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was this, for the listeners that don't know, they had this guitar on set that Martin let them use for a prop. And there's this scene where Kurt Russell's character he's a bounty hunter. They call him the hangman. Yeah. And he brings in this one woman that he's going to hang, and she's sitting there and she's playing guitar, and they have this this thing was like one of the first Martins made. It could sell for millions and millions of dollars. Oh, no. And in the script, Kurt Russell was going to take the guitar from her and smash it to bits, but they were supposed to switch the guitars out. But Quentin Tarantino apparently knew that they never switched him out and
What?
wanted a real reaction from the character. So nobody told Kurt that they didn't switch it out. So he in the scene, he grabs this priceless guitar that Martin lent them and smashes it to pieces, multi-million-dollar guitar. And the actress that was playing, obviously was there. He wanted a real, authentic reaction out of her, which I think is a douche move.
That's a douche move. Yeah, I would expect Quentin Tarantino to do something like that.
Yeah. So Kurt Russell smashed a multi-million-dollar guitar, and then Martin was like, "We are never doing this ever again."
Yeah, you've just broken our trust in all of mankind.
In all of Hollywood is never getting a guitar again.
Oh man. Well, you're doing good, man. That's a good story, by the way. You're doing good. You only got one wrong. You got one more left.
Okay.
Commander Shepard in Mass Effect 2.
Oh, I haven't played Mass Effect 2, but I'm pretty sure you've talked about it enough, but I don't remember, so I'm just going to send one in the dark. Commander Shepard, he's going to live.
He does live. He lives until the third movie, where he either sacrifices himself, chooses to transcend, or destroys the big machine at the end. I don't know. Yeah, but he's the main character of the show, the story, basically. But
I got you.
The game, rather.
Okay, that was a fun game, dude. That
was a good game, man. You did really well. You only got one wrong.
Okay, well, when it's 50-50, I better, I don't know. It's 50-50.
No,
folks,
the odds were in your favor, man.
Thank you for spending all this time with us. Thank you, Izzy, for the excellent game and the excellent conversation. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Any remarks, Izzy?
No, man. Check out our Pop Culture Field Manual YouTube. That's where I'm going to be placing all that new and fresh content. We got the game recon, which is a lot of fun. It's back to our gameology roots. So we're doing game reviews and reactions. And maybe we'll do some television show or movie reactions as well in the military realm.
Absolutely. Well, that's all we got for you this week. Tune in next week. And
cue music.